Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance. Today we step into the lush, dangerous beauty of the Dominion's botanical queen, Maya. Don't be fooled by her serene appearance. Behind every petal lies deadly precision and relentless control. Maya isn't just a healer. She's a master of disruption, a battlefield gardener who can shield her allies, poison her enemies, and bind entire formations in place. From her towering magical flower that protects and restores, to her toxic pollen and vines that chip away at enemies no matter where they hide, Maya thrives in long battles where her poisons and healing can fully bloom. If left unchecked, she will slowly but surely suffocate the enemy team in a web of roots and toxins, turning their own endurance into their downfall. Queen of Flowers, Maya's ultimate act of nature's protection. When activated, a massive magical flower blooms around her, shielding her from incoming attacks. This isn't just a barrier, it's a living guardian. The flower has its own health pool, and as long as it remains standing, Maya is protected from direct harm. But there's more. If the enemy fails to destroy the flower, it begins releasing waves of healing energy to all allies, restoring their health over time. At max level, this healing can reach over 10,000 per second, scaling with Maya's magic attack. The flower itself is tough, boasting over 180,000 health, again boosted heavily by her magic attack. The beauty of Queen of Flowers is its dual purpose. It buys time by absorbing enemy focus, and if left unchecked, it turns into a powerful team-wide sustain tool. In long battles, this can flip the tide completely, especially against teams lacking strong area damage to destroy it quickly. Pair Maya with allies who can distract or control enemies, heroes like Juri or Lian, to keep the pressure off the flower. The longer it lasts, the more your team benefits from its healing. Poison Pollen, her second skill, Maya's subtle yet deadly way of reaching enemies who think they're safe at the back. When activated, she releases a burst of toxic pollen that drifts through the battlefield, seeking out the most distant enemy. Once it finds its mark, the target is poisoned, suffering damage over time. At max level, this poison deals over 48,000 pure damage every 6 seconds, scaling with Maya's magic attack. And because it's pure damage, it completely ignores armor and magic defense, there's no way to block it. This makes Poison Pollen perfect for wearing down fragile but dangerous backline heroes, such as damage dealers and supports, while your frontline focuses on the immediate fight. It's especially nasty in drawn-out battles, where repeated applications can slowly bleed the enemy team dry. Pair her with heroes who can prolong fights or control the enemy front line, again Juri, Lian or Martha. The longer the battle lasts, the more Poison Pollen can stack up its toll on the enemy's most valuable units. Moving on to her third skill. Poisonous Bonds. This is where Maya turns the battlefield into a trap. She summons living sprouts that shoot out to the far edges of the fight, targeting the enemy on the far left and the enemy on the far right. In an instant, the vines lash out, pulling these two targets toward each other, breaking their formation and throwing them into chaos. But the control doesn't stop there. As the vines entangle their victims, they inject a potent toxin that deals over 48,000 pure damage every 6 seconds, scaling with Maya's magic attack. And remember, pure damage ignores all defenses. Poisonous Bonds is a perfect blend of crowd control and attrition. By yanking enemies out of position, Maya can disrupt tanks protecting the backline or force fragile damage dealers into the danger zone. Meanwhile, the poison continues to chip away at their health, creating pressure on the enemy healer and forcing them to split their focus. Pair Maya with allies who can capitalize on grouped enemies, heroes with area damage like Heidi or disruption like Cascade that can immediately punish the victims of her vines. The more disruption you cause here, the more openings your team will have to take control of the fight. Queen's Revenge. Even in defeat, Maya's magic strikes back. When her protective flower from Queen of Flowers is finally destroyed, its roots lash out in a final act of vengeance. They erupt from the ground, entangling the nearest enemies, locking them in place, and preventing any movement for a full 8 seconds. But this is more than just crowd control, it's punishment. As the roots hold them tight, they release a deadly toxin, dealing an incredible 166,000 poison damage over the duration, scaling with Maya's magic attack. This constant damage over time forces healers to scramble, and can finish off weakened enemies who were barely hanging on. The beauty of Queen's Revenge is how it turns a defensive loss into an offensive opportunity. Destroying Maya's flower might seem like progress for the enemy, but in reality, it often becomes the trigger for their downfall. If timed well with your team's area damage or follow-up attacks, these rooted enemies can be wiped out before they even break free. For maximum impact, pair Maya with heroes who can capitalize on immobilized targets. Burst damage dealers and magic-heavy allies thrive when enemies are trapped and slowly being eaten away by poison, such as Heidi. This two combined are slow in battlefield, but their pure poison pure damage is lethal. Now let's dive into Maya's skins. She has 5 available, and your first focus should be her health skin. Yes, health first, because while Maya is both a pure damage dealer and a healer, she is also fragile. As we've seen from her skills, she's deadly but works best over time, and if she doesn't have enough survivability to stay on the field, all that potential disappears. Boosting her health skin gives her the endurance she needs to stand tall and let her poisons do their work. After that, go for her 2 magic attack skins. These will directly increase her magical damage output, making her healing and poison effects hit harder. Once those are done, invest in her magic defense skin, another step to patch up her vulnerabilities, keeping her alive against magic-heavy teams. Finally, work on her default skin for an overall boost to survivability and base stats. On to Glyphs. Start with magic attack. This is Maya's main source of power. The stronger her magic attack, the deadlier her presence throughout the battle. Next is intelligence, her primary stat, which strengthens her in every aspect: more damage, better healing, and improved defenses. Then focus on armor, magic defense, and health glyphs. These 3 combined give her the staying power she needs to keep applying pressure over time. Now let's talk artifacts. Her book artifact is your top priority, plus 10,700 magic attack and plus 53,400 health is exactly what Maya needs. More damage, more durability, all in one item. Next is her ring artifact for intelligence, boosting her main stat and improving her overall performance. Last is her weapon artifact. While it triggers a valuable team-wide magic defense buff for 9 seconds, it should still be your final focus. Maya must be built for herself first so she can fulfill her role before worrying about protecting the team. Gift of the Elements is simple: max intelligence. It's her main stat and improves all her abilities: damage, healing, and survivability. Now for talismans. Maya has 2. The first is the Talisman of Blooming, perfectly suited for her with intelligence as the main stat and magical attack as a bonus, ideal for her offensive role. The second is the Talisman of Spring, a more defensive option with armor as the main stat and health as a bonus. This is excellent for longer fights where she might deal slightly less magical damage but will survive longer, which in turn allows her to keep applying her poison and healing effects over time. Counters to Maya are straightforward. Heavy damage dealers, physical or magical, who can strike before her flower blooms will shut her down quickly. Kayla, Zesha, Iris, and even Lilith can break through her with ease if she lacks proper support. Stunning teams are also dangerous: Judge, Isaac, or Polaris can lock her down, preventing her from casting and effectively taking her out of the fight. As for team combos, Maya has an exceptional partnership with Heidi. These two work incredibly well together, and their synergy deserves its own spotlight. We'll cover that fully in a combined Maya and Heidi team content piece after Heidi's guide. And that's the power of Maya, a hero who can protect, disrupt, and destroy all in one. If you enjoyed this guide and want to see more deep dives into the strongest heroes of Hero Wars Alliance, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss the next strategy. Until then, stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.